Good morning, good morning, good morning, folks. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. So, one of you, my viewers, brought up, well, let's just call it a sore spot. Not your fault. You're totally cool, but yeah, let's take a brief moment before we go into Matthew Israel's triggering bunch of bullshit. And let's discuss anti-vaxxers. Now, I'm talking the old school anti-vaxxers. I'm talking about people who drank Andrew Wakefield's Kool-Aid back in the day. I'm talking about the morons who absolutely insist that the MMR vaccine causes autism. Those folks. These individuals are responsible due to their complete recklessness of old diseases damn near no longer in existence except in small pockets to come back into mainstream vocabulary again. Things like polio, smallpox, whooping cough, things that used to wipe out full populations. These folks are vile. They are some of the most vicious, backhanded, just ugly individuals I've ever had the displeasure to encounter. If you think AH stands are bad with their doxing and shit, they don't even come close to these people. They're not even like a blip on these bastards' radar. They will attack you, your kids, your kids' kids. They get into some downright stalker behavior. Makes their antics, stand antics, look like amateur hour. We all know what they're willing to get up to. Look what they've done to Tug and a few others. My advice, if you encounter these folks, is just block. Block, mute all conversations for all sake of your sanity, mental health, and sense of well-being. You don't want to tango with these folks. They are willing to stoop to anything, even things that even AH stands would start backing away slowly. They are next level special, okay? Do not engage. Wish somebody would have told me that in my 20s. Alright. In the description box, folks, you're going to see the link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read, especially pertinent to the bullshit we're going to read today. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed 900 ABA professionals. Hear that, JRC? ABA professionals from all over the world in regards to the JRC's quote-unquote behavioral modification program. Matter of fact, JRC doesn't want you to read the truth so much. They have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused to comply. So you know the drill, folks. Please like and share on all your social media. We also have linked in there NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding folks in case the JRC has the balls to see through with their threat. We also got the pertinent links to the Agape boarding school situation. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that has, and pending, over 21 substantiated allegations and claims in civil lawsuits leveled against it by the quote-unquote troubled male teens they took in that are alleging, so far, sexual abuse, sodomy, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor who's still on the premises up on substantiated claims of multiple cases of sodomy and sexual abuse against the students there. You have an attorney general too busy getting endorsements from fucking Donald Trump to do his damn job and get those kids out, or to even be able to comment on the horror that happened yesterday out in St. Louis, where there was another school shooting. We're run by the clown circus, folks, so please share these articles on all your social media. Help us get the word out. Also, folks, we have the ever-present change.org Shut Agape Boarding School Down. Please sign and share on all your social media. We also got the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign. That's right, Matthew Israel, you son of a bitch. We have receipts. You gotta love how he will sit there and say they misunderstand and misrepresent anything. I'm not misrepresenting shit. I'm reading the receipts. Okay? But Matthew Israel, he gonna go for the AH defense. It's all lies except if I say it. Didn't work for her, not gonna work for you, Matthew. Just saying. This includes Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. We're going to be in for some gaslighting, victim blaming, projection of blame, projection of guilt. We're going to have an individual try to make us question our sanity, folks. Fuck you, Matthew Israel. Try me. Try me. Go ahead. Debate me, fucker. Debate me if you got the balls. I'm in a mood this morning, folks, obviously. We also have the templates, Jennifer Masamba's behavioral sheet. We have the video of the part of the 7-hour ordeal forced on Andre McCollins to give the lie to what this doctor is about to tell you. If a kid is screaming for help, screaming for you to stop, screaming as if his life depends on it because you bastards are torturing him, he's not happier and freer, Matthew. Okay? And the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Well, we already went over that. Sorry. I got lost there. So trigger warning, Matthew Israel is an evil bastard. Also, folks, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity and we talk about dark subjects. If your child is 16 and under, parental supervision is advised. It is 8:30. I'm already triggered just because I know I'm going to read some more bullshit. So if I stumble over words, folks, apologies in advance, all right? Okay. This document will respond to the extraordinary amount of false and deceptive information in the MDRI report. Is it false? Is it? The MDRI, when they made their report, folks, based it on DESI investigative reports the very same ones we have read over on this channel one by one. Their response is based off of the JRC's own fucking handbook and policies. It is based off the witness testimony of whistleblower and former JRC employee Greg Miller. It is based on parents like Andre McCollins' mother, Cheryl McCollins, and others, including the 6 parents whose children were murdered by this place through the neglect, if nothing else. It comes from documents dating all the way back to the 70s. That MDRI report comes from all the receipts we've been going through on this channel so far. To sit there and say with your whole chest, they're lies, they're lying to you, they don't understand. Bullshit. Bullshit. This is what I call the defense of who you're going to believe, me or your lying eyes. Right? Right? But you're deliberately misinterpreting it. You're not looking at it objectively. Here's objective for you. A person should not be tortured and abused because how they were born, Matthew Israel. I should not be punished for my neurology. Period. It's a very simple concept. Very, very simple concept. There are other practices out there that have been successful. Yes, Matthew Israel, yes, for students as quote-unquote severe as the kids you treat. Your numbers don't work when they're pulled up and exposed to scrutiny. And just to be a bitch, I'm going to start pulling some of those numbers. Now, let's move on here. More importantly, it will try to explain why aversive therapy, though controversial in some quarters, is very safe and important treatment option that should remain an option for parents deciding what treatment to seek for their special needs children. Oh, fucking gag me. Gag me. Any parent who watches that Andre McCollins video and signs their kids up for this shit deserve to have their children fucking removed from them. Don't even fucking at me. Any person who knows what goes on at this school and willingly signs their kids up for this do not deserve children. They don't even deserve to have a fucking gerbil. They keep telling, but it's safe. It is. It really is, because why? Distrust you, bruh? Distrust you? It's safe. You're a doctor? Yeah. No. Joseph Mengele was a doctor too. Your doctorate degree does not make you above scrutiny. Let me say that for the arrogant bastards in the fucking back. Your doctorate degree does not make you free from scrutiny or the consequences of your own actions. Don't try me on that subject, Mr. Israel. Matter of fact, folks, it is not safe. Linda Cornelison is dead. 6 kids are dead because of this school. If this place was actually safe, important, and life-saving, why are those 6 students no longer here, Dr. Israel? Why are they no longer here? The fact of the matter is, if you sit there and you watch Andre McCollins' videos, it's dramatic, it looks horrible, we know, but it's safe. He's screaming for his life. Doctor. He is screaming in pain and horror. He's begging for it to stop. Would do anything to make it stop. There's a word for that. It's sure as hell not treatment. You think he felt safe and happy and free? Do you think that he felt in that moment that that doctor was saving his life? No. And doctor, explain to me how it is okay for a student to be punished the way Andre McCollins was for refusing to move his coat. This isn't about life saving. That is the lie you try to sell. Andre McCollins was not being aggressive. He was not threatening anyone. He was not trying to harm anyone. He just wanted to leave his coat on. And for that high crime, you tortured him for over 7 hours. Moving on. In some cases, it may be the only means of saving their children from maiming themselves, from killing themselves, or leading to painful, wasted lives filled with catastrophic, self-inflicted physical injuries, psychotropic drugs, restraint, isolation, warehousing, and institutionalization. Here we go again! This is always his argument. It's always his argument, and it's always a lie. It's always a lie, folks. Because guess what? In other parts of the world, yes, even in my part of Missouri that I covered for 3 fucking years, there are some kids that have all these behaviors he's touting. All of them. We didn't sign them up to be tortured to make it stop, folks. We used fucking logic, common sense interventions, common sense, reasonable fucking accommodations. Hell, we talked to them. What a concept, right? We talked to them. In the case of nonverbals, we tried to work to find a ways of communication so they can communicate what was going on, what was triggering the behaviors. It is not the only way to save these kids. It is not saving them. If this is your definition of saving me, fucking kill me. Because I'd rather be dead than go through this treatment. I would rather be dead. I'm not kidding around. I'm not joking. This is not a joke. I would literally rather somebody shoot me in the fucking head than set foot in this in place of fucking horrors. Those arguments, they use worst case scenarios, first off. The good majority of the students there are not what he's describing. Matter of fact, he's bringing up worst case scenarios. He's victim blaming his fucking students. Victim blaming, folks. He's not doing a damn thing to find out what's behind these behaviors. He's not dealing with the root cause to bring these behaviors down to a level where a person can operate in the world. He's not doing any of these shit. All he's doing is punishing them. And it's never going to work. It's never going to work if you don't deal with the actual problem that's causing the behavior. Oh, but they know everything, right? We're trying to get attention, trying to get love from our peers. We're just doing it for attention or to manipulate people. Do you all hear yourselves? You use the fucking DSM diagnosis. One of the criteria that you use is how honest and fucking rigid we are to our own codes. You put it as one of your criteria, the fact that we refuse to lie even if it will benefit us. That we are rigid, not like more likely to be manipulated than to manipulate. And then you use ABA. And you'll tell the parents that we're trying to manipulate them, though, won't you? You tell them that we're doing these behaviors because we want attention. All that stupid bullshit, which is clearly a lie. I don't care how severe the behavior is. Play devil's advocate and say everything he's saying about this kid is true because I know I've been around these kids. Torture's still not the answer. You are still using the same argument that an abusive parent will use as to why they have to punch their kid in the face. They're being disobedient and I have to teach them respect. Is that right, Dr. Israel? Isn't that right, Doctor? Are you kidding me? Of all the thousands types of treatments that there are out there, and all the data that backs them up, you're going to tout with your whole chest that abuse is the only answer for the autism question. Really? I'm going to close out on that, but I won't quite yet. Dr. Israel has been using the same tired arguments since the 70s. He is not allowed for. As a doctor, he should, but he hasn't allowed these ideas to evolve with the science behind the very things that he's claiming. He has not allowed his ideas about pharmacology evolve as the sciences have evolved. He talks about restraint as so horrible, but yet he uses it all the damn time. Way more, in fact, than the places that he's accusing. You can't tote, we can't say. First of all, doctor, do you realize that the GED device is a form of restraint? On top of the horrific abuse that it causes, are you aware that the threat of violence constantly on their person is indeed a form of restraint? Are you also aware that a student refusing to remove their coat does not give you license to restrain them to a 4-point board and shock them over 31 times? That is not making them free from a life of restraint, doctor. Also, you talk about warehousing. You've been known to warehouse students. We have the legal documents, matter of fact, to show you've done exactly that. And you've been doing it since the 70s. Let's talk about catastrophic self-inflicted physical injuries. Remember Linda Cornelison, doctor? She was suffering from a horrific ulcer. You took the noises she made as non-compliance. You, yourself, doctor, signed off for 80,000 adversives to be used on that poor girl. Nobody thought to try to communicate with poor Linda if she was okay and what was going on. That girl's last few hours were filled with fucking horror. horror. So tell me, doctor, what were you protecting her from? The ER? Also, elephant in the room that I've recently brought up. If you have no access to be able to self-harm and you're pretty dedicated to it, why are we not discussing self-injury by proxy? Let me tell you what I think about this here. If a person has an urge to self-harm that is strong enough, and they know by showing behaviors the staff will harm them, why did you never think of that, Matthew Israel? It is a thing. Self-injury by proxy is a thing. Us atypical brains are by far not the only people who have self-destructive tendencies. Not even close. This is the elephant in the room that they never address. One of the many elephants. My God, their building is so full of elephants, I'm surprised it's still fucking standing. They talk about psychotropic drugs, and yes, you have instances where people are drugged to the gills. Granted, you have some doctors who will drug your ass up. Believe me, I know. I dealt with it in high school, okay? That's when I had to start getting more proactive when it came to my medication, when I realized you can't just trust these doctors or they're going to use you as a goddamn guinea pig. Even as kids, folks, talk to your doctors. Tell them what the medication is doing. Do not give bastards like this fuel for their stupidity. As far as isolation, he wants to bring up isolation. Let's bring this up, Dr. Israel. If you're against them being isolated, what the fuck is with loss of privileges? We remember what loss of privileges is, right? They are not allowed to communicate with anyone, period, point blank, unless spoken to. And it can only be a teacher or direct staff. No talking out. They have to starve themselves or eat liver powdered smash. They are not allowed to come out of their rooms, do literally anything. Do you think this is not isolation, doctor? Because it very much is. And let's talk about institutionalization, shall we? By the time this report went out, the classical institutions had been closed out in the majority for years. There are still a few psychiatric hospitals. Those are not the same as institutions. Similar, but not exactly the same. I know I'm splitting hairs here, but you know what I'm saying here. But you'll be stuck in state hospitals your whole life. Funny how that never happened to me. My mom worked for a state hospital doctor. She's been in healthcare for over 40 years. Funny how I never got shoved in one of those places. Isn't it? Some of us did. Some of us get sent to these psychiatric hospitals. But again, let me tell you, how many doctors I've had to explain my diagnosis to. It's no different for any of the rest of us, folks. A lot of these doctors in these institutions don't have the first fucking clue what they're doing, any more than Matthew Israel does. Condemning one bad and then taking a kid into Mickey Mouse acid trip on crack gone to hell is not an improvement, doctor. You are an institution. And all the Mickey Mouse crazy insanity bullshit is not going to change the fact that your school is an institution. It engages in all the same violations of human rights, autonomy, civil rights, and torture that the institutions were known for. All the paint and bizarro world bullshit decorations in the world is not going to change the fact that you run an institution. Okay? Don't get it twisted. I'm going to close out on that, folks. If you watch the Andre McCollins video, and you compare it with some of the videos from the 80s back when Geraldo Rivera was going after the institutions, it's the same shit. Dr. Israel did not create a safe space for these kids. All he did was throw a veneer of paint on it. Call it a school and then call it treatment. But it's no different. Wake up, people. The institutions did not close down. They changed, and they call themselves schools now. Now I'll close out. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject, and the few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Now, hold on, because here after this, we're going to be going after Agape next on their documents, all right? All right, goodbye, everyone.